Hi, and welcome to Focus on English.
This is a calm English podcast for listening and real conversations.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. It is wonderful to have you with us again.
It really is.
Today we are doing something a little different. Usually we're digging into technology reports or history.
Right.
But today our sources are all about the English language itself. We've got lists of expressions, short stories about work, things we all use every day.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shift for us, isn't it? But
Yeah.
looking through this material, I saw this really fascinating pattern.
I noticed it too.
You put these stories about families and paying bills next to these lists of common idioms, and you see how often English speakers mix two very different topics.
Money and food.
Money and food, exactly. We're going to explore why financial situations get described with all these, pasty words.
I was actually getting a little hungry reading the notes. So I hope you've had lunch, because this might make you hungry.
That's the mission today, then, to see why we turn finance into food. And we'll keep it simple, really clear, and relaxed.
Perfect. So let's start at the very beginning. The most basic need for a family is, well, someone has to earn a living.
Right. You have to go out and get resources. And our sources have this one phrase that connects a salary directly to a type of breakfast meat.
I think we all know this one. It's that feeling of success after a long week of work. You've secured the prize. The phrase is, bring home the bacon.
Bring home the bacon. It's such a classic. And in the source material, it's contrasted with something like bread and butter. But this one is all about earning money to support your family.
So a simple definition would just be to earn money for your family to live.
That's it.
But why bacon? I mean, why not bring home the vegetables?
Well, think about it historically. Meat was a luxury. It was high value. If you had bacon, you were doing well. It meant you could provide something good, something substantial.
So it's not just surviving, it's about winning, about bringing back a prize.
Exactly. It implies you competed and you won.
So an example could be something like, I could say about my father, for instance. My father works 2 jobs to bring home the bacon.
That's a perfect example. It shows respect for the hard work involved. The salary becomes this, physical gift for the family.
But as we see in these stories we have, working hard. It doesn't always mean you have enough money.
No. And that's where things get a bit more relatable for a lot of people.
Yeah, I was really struck by that story about the Viking family, Thoric and his parents. The text says they made money, but, and this phrase just sticks with you, it was never enough.
It really does. It describes a situation where the money coming in is just barely covering the money going out.
And this brings us to our next idiom. It's about managing that tension. The source material talks about keeping the pot boiling, which is another food reference.
Right. But the more common phrase we use today is make ends meet.
To make ends meet.
I love the visual of this one. Imagine you have a rope and you're trying to tie it around something. You have to pull the 2 ends together so they can touch.
And you're pulling and pulling.
Exactly. If they touch, you're secure. But if the rope's too short, you have a gap. And that gap is the problem.
That gap means you can't pay the rent.
Precisely. So to make ends meet means you have just enough money to pay for the things you need, like food and rent, but it's a struggle.
It captures that stress so well. It's not just a state of being, it's an active, constant effort.
Yeah. So for someone working long hours just to pay their bills, you could say?
You could say, it is difficult to make ends meet when the rent is very high.
That's a perfect use. It shows that relationship between income and expenses. It's a feeling a lot of people in these stories have. They're working hard, but they're not getting rich.
So what happens when you fail? When the ends they don't meet?
That's the danger zone. And here the language shifts from food and ropes to color.
Yes, I saw this in the notes about business and accounting. In the old days, bookkeepers used actual ink.
Right. And they had a simple system. If you were making a profit, you used black ink. But if you were losing money, you'd switch to red ink.
Red. It's a warning color. It means stop, danger.
It's an alarm bell. So the idiom that comes from this is be in the red.
To be in the red.
It just means you owe money to the bank or you have a negative balance. You've spent more than you have.
So a company that maybe didn't sell its products one year, they'd be in serious trouble.
For sure. So you could say, the company's in the red because nobody bought their products this year.
It's such a colorful way to say you're in financial trouble. It paints a very clear picture.
It does. It's the complete opposite of bringing home the bacon.
Okay, that's a bit depressing. So let's shift gears. Let's talk about something more positive.
Please.
In the source material, there's a story about a woman named Laura. She works in an office, and she sees the company is doing really well.
Right, and she starts thinking, what about me? I helped do the work. I should get a reward.
And we go right back to food, but not bacon this time. This time it's dessert.
It is. We talk about getting a piece of the pie.
Now there's another phrase, a piece of cake, which means something is easy.
This is different.
Right.
Oh, very different. A piece of cake is about how difficult something is. A piece of the pie is about getting your share of the profits or the value.
And the image of a pie is great because a pie is, well, it's a whole thing. If you take a slice, there's less for everyone else.
Exactly. The pie represents the total profit. And when a business is successful, all the workers want their slice.
It has a feeling of fairness to it. Like,
Yeah.
if I help bake the pie, I should get to eat some of it.
That's the idea. So a simple way to explain it is a share of the money or profits from a business.
Okay, so an example might be, the business was successful, so every worker wanted a piece of the pie.
Perfect. It's about wanting to share in that success. We've moved beyond just surviving. Now we're talking about getting a treat.
Which is a great point. We've gone from bacon for survival to pie as a luxury.
But there is one more level, a level where money is just so easy.
Ah, yes. I saw the source phrase, money to burn, but there was another one that's even better, the gravy train.
The gravy train.
Ew.
It sounds delicious, doesn't it?
It does. Gravy is that rich, extra sauce. It's not necessary, but it makes everything better.
It's pure excess. And in this idiom, it means a job or an activity that pays a lot of money for very little hard work.
So if you're on the gravy train, you're just sort of riding along, and the easy money just comes to you.
Exactly. You don't have to work hard for it, unlike with bringing home the bacon. For the bacon, you have to hunt. For the gravy train, you just sit there.
There's a different feeling to it then. If I say someone is on the gravy train, it sounds a little, I don't know, a bit critical.
It can be. There can be a sense of jealousy or that the money is unearned.
Mhm.
You know, like the boss's nephew who does nothing all day but gets a huge salary.
Right. So you might say, that job is a real gravy train. He does nothing and gets paid well.
It's a critique of a system that seems unfair. Sometimes it's not about working hard to make ends meet. It's just about being in the right place at the right time.
It's just amazing how all these food words cover the whole experience.
Hmm.
You start with bacon for survival.
Then you struggle to make ends meet.
You fear being in the red.
You hope for a piece of the pie.
And maybe you secretly wish you could find that gravy train. It really shows how we understand these big, abstract ideas through our basic human needs, like hunger.
Exactly. We use the feeling of a full belly or an empty one to explain our bank accounts. It makes the language more human, more emotional.
It really does. And for anyone listening, using these idioms can really add some flavor to your English.
It connects you with people because everyone understands food.
Right. So we were thinking maybe you could try this out for yourself.
Active practice is always the best way to make these stick.
Yeah. So just as a little invitation, if you'd like, you could try writing one simple sentence in the comments using one of these idioms.
It could be about your own life or just a story you make up.
Maybe you're working hard to bring home the bacon, or you know someone who is on a gravy train.
We would genuinely love to read them. It's great to see how you take these ideas and use them.
It really is. So thank you so much for joining us today to explore the delicious side of English.
I hope we didn't make you too hungry.
I think I need to go find some lunch now.
Me too.
Thanks for listening, keep practicing, and we will see you on the next deep dive.
Thank you for listening. If this podcast helps you practice English, feel free to subscribe. See you next time.